Well, hello there, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. My name is Mr. Dogboat333, and welcome back to Hearts of Iron for Kaiserreich as the Ukrainian state. Now, last video, we hopped in, just kind of got a general vibe of what's going on. Not a full vibe, though. We cut out a little early to before we got to check out the lore. So let's check out the legacy of the People's Republic. If the Ukrainian state is a symbol for Ukraine's conservatives, then the People's Republic has become one for its progressives. Republican movements represent the main opposition to the state and its government, seeking the reestablishment of the republic and full democracy. They are led by the Socialist Bloc, an alliance of three parties gathered to form a stronger anti-Hetmanite front. The Social Democratic Workers' Party serves as the bloc's largest contingent, representing democratic socialism in the Marxist tradition and combining a proletariat outlook on social issues with a heavy emphasis on evolutionism. The USDRP is sometimes considered the informal leader of both the bloc and the Republican tendency in general, as it is led in part by former Secretary General of Military Affairs Simon Petliura, who is believed to have ties to some elements of the military. The other two components of the Socialist Bloc are the Party of Socialist Revolutionaries and the Council Revolutionary Bloc. The UPSR is the Ukrainian counterpart of the Russian Social Revolutionaries, most of whom remain committed both to revolutionary socialism and Ukrainian statehood. Bearing a radical and agrarian program, the UPSR briefly surpassed its popularity of the USDRP rivals in 1917 before suffering multiple splits. Today they form an alliance with Volodymyr Vinnichenko's RRB, itself a consolidation of former Social Democrats who oppose the party's reformist direction. The People's Republic's first Prime Minister, Vinnichenko's name lends stature to the revolutionary left and ensures that it is not a junior partner within the bloc. The Republicans' cause also holds a critical faction of non-socialists concentrated within the Radical Democratic Party. The RDP serves as a legal opposition to Hetmanite's government and claims strong support from the middle class. Advocates parliamentarism, devolution, and progressive capitalism, they've acted as voices for the reform in the state, but their status as opposition means that Republican sympathizers have gravitated towards the party since the beginning and continue to do so. A motley crew, to be sure. Indubitably. And we're going to finish up reforming the army in the state. That free army experience is going to be very nice. Ooh. God damn it. Okay, I gotta go back to read that event. I am on my game today, if you cannot tell. Boop. All right, anyway. Remembering Kruti. Every nation has its myths, collective memories built to foster a shared sense of history and identity. Such myths have been crafted at least since the advent of modern nationalism, and Ukraine is no exception to this. For Ukrainians, one of their most significant myths concerns the events of January 29, 1918. On this date, some 500 cadets defended the Kruti railway station, 150 kilometers northwest of Kiev, against a vastly superior Bolshevik force. Around 100 defenders fell before the survivors were forced to withdraw, but their sacrifice delayed the Bolshevik advance on Kiev and allowed the People's Republic to conclude the Treaty of Brest-Litovsk before evacuating the city. The Battle of Kruti received little notice at the time, for Kiev was in chaos due to simultaneous revolt of the city's arsenal. But when the Republic returned to the city in March, the battle's myth began to be built. The remnants of Kiev's defenders were ceremoniously buried to eulogies from high-ranking politicians. and Skoropadsky established a commemorative tradition early into his reign, supposedly approving the monument to Kruti's fallen that was later erected at the site. However, remembrances of the battle have also been politicized to a degree. Hetmanist figures, including Ottoman minister Doroshenko, sometimes view the battle as evidence of republic's incompetence. Their factually dubious view is of young, inexperienced, and under-equipped students being abandoned by their drunk commanding officers and sent to certain death. Republican commemorations of Kruti are less accusatory. The battle is also a focal point for the Fringe League of Ukrainian Nationalists, for whom this event perfectly encapsulates their preferred narratives, venerations of martyrdom, and the heroic sacrifice of the youth for the nation. OVDV has noted a circulation of LUN pamphlets in the Chernigov garrison to mark the occasion, connecting the battle to their brand of military ultranationalism. Well, tell me about this league. Throughout 28 and 29, a little-known civil servant publicist named Dmytro Donstov published a series of articles on the condition of Ukrainian states. In his eyes, events since 1925 foretold a coming of age of great catastrophes and exposed parliamentarianism. That's it. Inherent ability to ward them off. Donstov asserted that only the will and dedication of a prominent caste under supreme rule could save Ukraine from its coming destruction. His articles went unnoticed by most, except by a certain Yevhen Onetsky, a regular contributor to a magazine associated with the UDK-HP's right wing. Onetsky wrote his own articles in agreement with Donstov's diagnosis, but prescribing a different cure. Onetsky believed that a mass populist and nationalist organization should take full control of the state, permeating all aspects of life to forge a new order of national revolution, with no need for an outdated hetmanate. This seditious talk cost Onetsky his job, but brought him into contact with like-minded Colonel Mykola Sistoborsky and publicist Dmytro Andreevsky. Joined by young author Yuri Lipa, they formed the League of Ukrainian Nationalists, a far-right society aiming to bring about this new order. The LUN occupies a right-wing populist niche, promoting totalitarian corporatism as well as ethnic Ukrainian nationalism, as opposed to those of hetmanists and Republican multi-ethnic nationalism. Their tactics mirror those of Romania's Legion and, ironically, Savinkov's national populism. LUN advocates tours of countryside, aiding peasants, and teaching ad hoc literacy classes to garner support. Though modestly successful, the LUN has struggled to challenge Republican dominance over the disaffected peasantry. More potent are their military ties. Beyond Sistoborsky, the LUN has rumored sympathizers as high up as General Yevhen Kurovalets. But even so, many doubt that they can be a truly viable force in the current climate. The LUN simply cannot be a popular movement when the Republicans still command peasant support. How many grand populists can you even fit in this country? I'm noticing a trend here. Ooh. Is that a dockyard? We have access to. Excellent. I'll just start building some convoys. Something simple. Uh-oh. Black Monday. That can't be good. News has reached Ukraine of a German stock market collapsing into the abyss with global ramifications. Overnight, dozens of German companies either pulled out, announced their intention to do so, or were forced into bankruptcy. Scores of Ukrainian workers are at risk of unemployment in the immediate future. To make matters worse, our mining companies and agriculture expect to lose much of their customers in Germany. Due to various agreements with Germany, Ukraine has always grown excess levels of grain to feed the alliance and alleviate further food shortages. But as exports are expected to fall rapidly this year, many farmers are left with massive surpluses of wheat and no one to sell it to. The most pessimistic are telling the peasants to start burning grain, as it will soon be worth less than coal. Quit the pessimism. The hetman will fix this. Right? Right? Sitting at the crossroads between Ukrainian politics and literature, today's talk is the publication of the late Vyacheslav Lipnitsky's magnum opus and political treatise, Epistles to the Brothers Agrarian. A fixture of the political scene for many years, Lipnitsky could not find the time between his activism and later battles with tuberculosis to complete the book within his lifetime, something he predicts himself in its foreword. In his life, Lipnitsky was seen by many as a man of contradictions. A Polish noble embracing the Ukrainian national struggle, a devout Catholic advocating for the exclusive spiritual role of the Ukrainian Orthodox Church, and a UDKHP founder who came to reject the party he helped create. Epistles serves as an exploration of Lipnitsky's values, a vision of a classocratic society where the most enlightened can guide Ukraine to a future without fear of the corrupting influences of liberal democracy and petty sectarianism. But while his heirs in USKHD might cling on to his words, they are unlikely to reverse the Union's political fortunes on their own. Despite Lipnitsky's being a personal advisor to the hetman, the USKHD has never gained much traction and was driven largely by the zeal of Lipnitsky and his closest associates. As such, the organization suffered greatly from his death. Still a junior partner in conservative politics, with the new leadership struggling to fill their founder's shoes, the USKHD's future is highly uncertain. Well, tell me more about them. The USKHD began on the eve of the 1924 elections, when Vyacheslav Lipnitsky, then still a UDKHP leader, proposed a radical revision of the party program along neo-monarchist and corporatist lines. In his proposal, Lipnitsky fundamentally rejected partisan politics and parliamentarism, favoring instead the organization of politics along class lines, an idea counterintuitive to many. He saw that a society run in this manner would allow a class aristocracy of Ukraine's best and brightest a chance to change the country for the better, without regard for faith or language. His ideas were viewed as inconsolably radical, and the UKDKHP would ultimately remove him as party leader. In response, he gathered his followers and found a new party, the Ukrainian Union of Agrarian Status. The USKHT would go on to contest the 1924 elections on a platform that incorporated monarchism, corporatism, and decentralism, promoting a devolved but anti-democratic political order, contrasting the other parties, parliamentarism, centralism. It would split the conservative vote, but ultimately was consigned to a junior role in the resulting Hetman's coalition, while Lipnitsky remained a member of the Hetman Circle, a position he continued to occupy up to and after his death. Inheriting it from its founder, a classocratic, plurinational, and anti-liberal vision of politics, the USKHT was forced to find new leaders after Lipnitsky's death. The party was taken over by two people, Serhiy Shemet and Mykola Kochubey. Both hail from noble land-owning families and were involved in the original founding of the party alongside Lipnitsky. Both followed him in his departure, albeit for different reasons. Kochubey joined him out of a genuine belief in his views, whereas Shemat felt that a party led by a close advisor to Hetman would offer better prospects than increasingly big tent UDKHP. Lipnitsky has proven a difficult act to follow, and neither of his successors have truly been up to the task. The USKHD now risks falling into total irrelevance, and it may take a major shakeup in Ukrainian politics to save them. Interesting indeed. Okay, we're going to finish this up. There we go. And then we're going to want to get some... I guess we can't do that yet. Well, let's see what we can do. Get the artillery bonus. More artillery now might be a better... Well, we need to wait till our industrial base is better. We'll go and work on the Inspectorate of the Arsenals. The Ukrainian arms industry is spread across the country with no overall coordinating body to direct research and production. Appointing a military body to oversee them would ensure efficiency. There we go. Okay, while the economic situation is growing worse by the hour with no positive developments in sight, it falls to the Soim and the government to draft a comprehensive piece of legislation which will allow major increases in government debt to stabilize prices, purchase up excess products, and organize great amounts of emergency work to ease the financial plight of the people, thus restoring confidence of the people in the ruling regime. No doubt such an endeavor will require considerable effort from our divided legislature. Surely the Soim will be able to reach a consensus? Question mark. What do we got? The so-called Hetman coalition of parliamentary alliance between the UDKHB, USKHD, representatives of VSZV, and Protofoist, and certain independent deputies, have struggled to maintain a veneer of political stability and unity since its inception in 24. Botched land reforms and stalled industrialization are just part of its legacy of factionalism and petty politics. Now, however, there seems to be little room for error. With the economic crisis and internal instability reaching heights unseen since 1918, the Hetman is growing more tired of the coalition's inefficiency by the day. The opposition, as it has been the case since the creation of a Soim, is represented by the URDP. For years it advocated for democratization, devolution, and progressive economic policy, while remaining cautious enough not to incur the wrath of the ruling regime. Their right wing, centered mainly around Serhiy Shalukin, is relatively amicable towards the coalition and may be negotiated with, especially in these trying times. Finally, there is the SHD, a semi-secret clique of military officers, civil servants, and politicians closely following developments in the Soim. Resenting parliamentarism and party politics of any kind, they will certainly try to influence the Hetman's decision if they feel threatened or bold enough. Such a scenario will pose a serious threat to the future of Ukrainian democracy. It's not ominous at all. Certain events and national focuses will present opportunities for the player to influence support for the relief bill among the five main parliamentary factions. To pass the bill and give Ukrainian parliamentarism another chance, you must secure the support of 4 out of 5 factions. Failure to do so will most likely push the Ukrainian state in a more authoritarian direction. Okay, so I have a feeling we'll want to not do this. Okay, Black Monday hits Ukraine. Let's check this out. While the German economy imploding, Ukraine, like the rest of Middle Europe, has been taken down with it. Ukraine finds itself in dire straits due to the stockpiling of excess grain and collapse of the agricultural markets. We'll have to take extensive measures to recover from this crisis. Well, there we go. Bypass that. What do we want to do? Okay, so we can do 5 focuses here. Let's support domestic companies. We should first and foremost look at after our domestic companies. They might not have the capital the Germans have, but they employ a far greater amount of people whose livelihoods are at risk. That'll help these guys support us a little bit more. And it's as good a start as any, I think. Let's get working on training up these guys, I think. Alright, we finished that up. Let's drop the gold standard as well. Ukraine's currency, the hryvnia, has been tied to the gold standard for some time now. In the past, has provided some measure of economic stability, especially in warding off inflation. These are trying times, and Ukraine must follow other countries in their abandonment of this archaic practice, allowing us to inject some much-needed cash into the economy. experiments with direct class representation in politics were always part of USKHE's agenda, arguing that only representatives of the producing classes have necessary skills, experience, and dedication to guide political and economic development of a nation. A group of deputies headed by Mikola Kochubi have suggested to create a special council comprised from delegates chosen by state unions, farmer cooperatives, employers, and landowner organizations. Such an assembly should participate in solving the current economic crisis alongside the SOIM. This proposal was met with fierce criticism of the URDP, which claims that this institution, supposedly designed to alleviate class conflicts, will only exacerbate them, with representatives from big landowners and industrialists poised to completely dominate it. Other groups within the SOIM are skeptical too, fearing the creation of such a body will destroy the already fragile balance of power in the parliament. Perhaps we can convince others. Well, we'll have to check this out later, I think, because right now, we're out of time, my friends. But thank you as always for watching. Like if you like, dislike if you didn't, leave any comments or feedback down in the comment section below. I read all the comments I get. Appreciate any feedback you might have for me. Hit the sub button if you want to keep up to date with uploads. I upload weekdays as well, occasionally Saturdays. Leave any feedback down in the comment section below. I think I already said that. My bad. Check my various links down in the description box below. That's it for now, my friends. My name has been Mr. Doggo333. Thank you for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye now.